grew up, I'm coming from the punk rock background. So for me, it was always, okay, I'm reading the deal. And at the end, it's like, that doesn't sound like a good deal to me. You know, like 100% of what I make is definitely better than 10% of what you want to give, what I make for you. So we're always open to negotiations. I mean, always contracts, but I never got a contract that I liked. So we always said, no, we rather stay independent and work on our net worth and rise it up so we have more bargaining power.
As you all know, this is our first in studio without you. You should move to LA. But we have Krash Karma in the studio today. Episode, let me count them.
108.
Episode 8. I like
108.
On the frame.
Oh, well, thank you.
There you are.
There we go. 108. And we have them here live today, and we're going to talk about the independence and being independent in the music biz. So, Ralph, Nikki, Krash Karma.
Hello.
Hi.
Met these guys back at the beginning of the year. Where did we?
Viper
Room at the Otherwise show.
At
It's like a
otherwise in High Road the Hero.
High Road the Hero.
Yeah.
But
And 9 Electric, the last show.
that 9 Electric ever did.
Mm-hmm.
They were shortly broken up after that.
Totally.
Yum.
So basically, you know, we kind of got talking and stuff, and I really liked their vibe and whatnot. And I got to see a show of theirs at the Lucky Strike in Hollywood.
Yes.
And just like the energy you guys put forward, and then like actually sit with you guys and talking with you guys have a really interesting story from the standpoint of how you guys have been independent this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most bands probably wouldn't be able to eat that lunch that's that rich for that long. And the thing is, you guys do it in a way where you're profitable a lot of ways, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So explain to me kind of your guys' dynamic of that story. Like, how did it start with Krash Karma? Why was it independent? You know, like some of those aspects you guys do.
Well, we started this band. We released our first EP when we were 4 people in 2009.
Okay.
And we started touring. We had another bass player and a guitar player. And I played guitar and sang. And we were just touring the United States constantly. And I also played in another band in Germany. It's a pretty big punk rock band over there, but also very important, 100% DIY.
Yeah,
but
they do everything themselves.
Over there, they make a killing.
Everything.
Yeah. So, and this is where we rather stay independent and work on our net worth and rise it up so we have more bargaining power. And we still have the same opinion. And every time you get a contract, I feel like, why should I give up anything? What can you do to so in order for now, if I sign this contract, I have to sell 4 times the amount.
Right.
Means you're gonna put in 4 times the money and the effort that I do. And I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
With the people I talk to so far.
It's more of a gamble probably in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
And along the way, we wound up, getting pretty good with doing booking and everything ourselves. So I do most of the booking in the US and he takes care of Europe. And of course, we have other people that we work with. Like we have plenty of promoters, publicists, radio people that we hire. So we do everything just ourselves. So we know how much we're giving you and we know what we expect or what we're going to get in return.
Sure.
As opposed to just being like, okay, here's, we hired a booker once and I had to give him, a certain amount up front. And then it turned out that the shows that I booked wound up being way better than the ones that were being booked for me. So I was like, all right, until we have something that's a major situation.
Yeah, there was this one time
ourselves.
There was one time when we went to the venue and we got the show booked, and it's a venue we always play, and then we're like, what are we gonna pay today? Like we get paid half as much as we used to pay.
Yeah.
It's like, why are we doing this again?
The same clubs that I book every time.
And then the promoter comes, so what's happening with your booker? Why is he only want half the money? It's like, excuse me?
That's not his job.
No. That's when we realized, we don't need anybody.
Yeah, and if someone came and offered us a great deal, maybe, but we haven't had that yet, and we're doing pretty well on our own.
Yeah.
I think that speaks volumes, guys, and I'm going to chime in here because, I'm independent artist myself, and the fact that you guys are taking the baton and just doing it yourselves, again, it speaks volumes because most bands are really they're just focused on the art aspect, and for me, not even documenting it and putting it out there and letting people inside, but to have to be able to parlay some old contacts that you had from a prior band and then kind of basically grow that to your new band, and you guys have it all going on. You're doing everything. So there's really no need to give anything up. And the thing for me that I always found a challenge was getting good shows. Obviously, it's about ticket sales. And if you can't sell at your own backyard, why are you even doing anything in the first place? So the fact that you guys are doing that all across the world is really impressive. So let's go into that for a second. How does it look? You guys formed the band. It's 2009, and you're coming from your punk band, which was called
Viso.
Viso.
W-I-Z-O.
Have you ever heard of Vigo?
Nope.
Of all Carpathians.
Send me the link.
That's like buzzing to fly to Vigo's. Ghostbusters.
Oh, nice.
So you're back to 2009. You're transitioning. You guys meet, and then you're like, hey, you're going to make the calls and book the gigs. And how did you get those quality gigs? So I'm really interested in that.
I mean, first of all,
it wasn't quality at the beginning.
No, first of all, I'm still playing in that band in Germany.
Yeah.
We're still traveling back and forth, so that never stopped. But talking about quality gigs, it's like you always think everybody plays quality gigs, and you always feel like when you're out on the outside, everybody's super successful and they stay on top. It's not. And every band I played in, believe me, once you're on the inside, everybody has the same struggle. Just because we sell out a few shows where there's like 1,000, 2,000 seaters doesn't mean next week we'll have a shitty show.
Yeah.
Right.
That happens to every band.
Yeah.
And it's on a different level. But everybody struggles to keep what they have and to expand, maybe not to lose any ground. And the same for you, same for us, and same for Metallica. Or Guns N' Roses, probably. They're all
at one point.
it's still the same. If you're on top for that long, that requires a lot of dedication and work and being at the right time. So
money, I would say too.
Yes, and this is all for all the artists. It's the same. It's just like just because you're from the outside, it always seems like, oh, that band has it figured out. No, they don't. It's every day you wake up and you have to reinvent yourself. And if you do this for longer than 10 years or for 5 years, man, respects. If you stay on top for that long. So, and like I said, you know what? We don't play just good shows. We have a lot of shitty shows too. But we always try to evolve and learn out of those shows. Do we go back to the city? Maybe not. Maybe play the city that's next to it.
Right.
We always have like cornerstone gigs.
So like in between gigs, like something that you could take in between. That's
Yeah, like our Friday and Saturdays are obviously the weekends are always the biggest ones. So we save the weekends for our target markets. And then during the week, we add 2 or 3 new markets or play in our secondary markets, So, and usually that's kind of how I do it is I try to book 1 new market per week or whatever, just that we haven't been before. So we basically know it's probably going to be a shitty show, or we get lucky and we wind up, having an amazing show. But what we normally do with that first round is decide if we're going to go back again. Based on the people who are, the promoters, based on the energy of the place and just like the feeling that we get from the people. If we see that it is a good market to go back to, maybe the first show wasn't the best show in the world, but we still have a good feeling about the scene there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's somebody who supports us. There's a radio station, or there's a magazine, or somebody who says, hey, come by and you can stay at my mansion with a bubble bath, super hot tub for 5 days.
We're down with that. Oh yeah, many times.
Drummer and just the overhead. So it's just you two when you guys are generally going live, or do you have any session players or?
Live, it's just us.
Yeah.
So that says a lot too. There's a band called Spotlights. Have you ever heard of them? It's a husband and wife, and they opened up for the Deftones, and they're doing it's kind of the same similar thing. And I always found them very impressive. And so to interview the same type of model setup is I'm just a little fanboy of it. So so now you're going. When you're actually playing these gigs, I mean, to make a living off of it, do you guys have any other jobs or on the off time, or is it straight up like this?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So impressive. Do you guys have it? Do you have any marketing background or anything like that, or is it just you guys just kind of dove in and just
Just open.
We are pirates.
We're pirates, exactly.
And our little van is our ship, our pirate ship. And the city is the bounty. And we take what we get, and then we leave the next day.
And do you find when you go to play a show, even if there's like, for me, if I see a couple fans, a couple people that dig it, like I go and talk to those people and make the best of that and get their email and make sure I stay in contact with them. So when I come back, it's like maybe they'll tell their friends. And it seems to be a lot of bands just get on stage, go and play, and then they get off, and then they drive all the way home from that fucking far-ass show they played and didn't make anything of that. How do you guys make the best of each show that you have? So when you come back next time, it's...
We reach out to everyone, basically.
We are the first to set up the merch, and we are the last to go to the club with the bartenders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you guys obtain email addresses and keep in contact with these people?
Absolutely. And usually when we go on tour, we take a merch person with us. So it's usually 3 of us in the band. So we have one person always at the merch. But after the show and after we're done, he kind of takes care of packing up the stuff, and I'll go over to the merch and be there and talk with everybody. And then eventually he'll come. And we hang out with everybody. And we love people. If you don't love people, and there's no sense in doing this job. And I was like, it makes no sense to me.
I know the kind of bands you're talking about. We play with them quite a lot. And those are the bands that feel like, I just need to do this gig until I'm the superstar. So they always see this like as a transitional phase. Yeah. And then you can just look at them and say, you know what? If you don't enjoy this, don't do it. Because you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Exactly. So, and this is what we realized too. And we saw so much merch at the end of the night. Yeah. And the other bands already packed up and they're gone. And sometimes people come and say, where's the other band? I wanted to buy a shirt. It's like, well, I guess they have a good credit card because they don't need your money.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's more common than ever. And it's kind of an entitlement thing too. It's like, oh, we don't. And I even see bands leave right after they play, and they don't even support the other bands. And it's a lot of that going on in New Jersey. Yeah. There's a lot of it
happening everywhere.
I feel like too. It's like we always have the saying, "Don't be a dick on the show." DVD.
Yeah.
DVD Nation. And do you guys find that there are bands that you guys kind of gravitate towards or friends with where you'll piggyback shows or trade shows and stuff like that?
Definitely.
Tours?
Yeah. We have bands that we, in different cities that we always call first. Like, hey, we're coming through this time frame. Do you guys want to do something together?
Sure.
We love to have certain people that are doing it like we are.
I feel like at this point, we establish a whole network through the United States. We know there's a bunch of places where we don't even need a merch person anymore, I feel, or a roadie, because we have a whole crew waiting for us, and they're going to be with us for a few days.
Oh, that's great idea. So, like, when you come back, it's like, you're like, okay, so we have like kind of like a street team, an in-house street team. For the,
sometimes if we're not doing like a 4-month or a 3-month tour, it makes no sense to have a merch person just for, a few dates. So if we have kind of an in-house crew when we get somewhere, it makes it way easier.
That's really cool. I'm learning from this. It's fantastic. By the way, when you guys get to Jersey, if you ever want to link up with my band, I think we'd be, we'd be pretty cool together. We do a pretty good show.
What is your band?
My band's called Red Hymns.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
like HYM.
Is that your shameless plug for today?
No, well, but this is why I do this. It's not for myself. It's literally to embrace the initiative, to take responsibility and initiative to be able to put your band out there, but not shameless plugs. Okay, I think this is the first time I mentioned it.
Once we did a whole Rocktober in New Jersey, Beta, New Jersey. So we rented a house
in Belmar.
Oh, jeez.
And for 1 month, we did shows all on the East Coast based. So we had a residency in New York at the Trash Club. We were
really?
Krash Karma.
Yeah.
Smells.
Is in Asbury.
Oh, Asbury Park. Oh, yeah. Of course.
First place I ever played a show.
It was really Saint. That closet, that shoe.
Oh, you played the Saint.
Wow.
I think that place is awesome. They closed that down, though, I believe.
I know, like last month.
Damn. We played many shows there.
Yeah.
You ever played Stone Pony?
No, I wish. It's on my bucket list.
Get us into the pony.
Yes, get us in the pony.
Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, right. Yeah.
What's that? Stone the slopes. The pony.
No, but I'd love to link up with you guys. It's just I'm learning a lot in the fact that it's amazing that you take that initiative, you're making a living from it, and you're doing the grind, and you're not hiding anything, no facade. And that's something we can all learn from. Now I'm going to pivot into this. What are you guys doing to subsidize the fact that you can't be touring right now to be able to still connect with your audiences around the country, the world, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, I'm thinking about, going like mystique, the mystique of the band disappeared ever since social media is there. So we're trying to dive back into it being mystique. I don't know, actually, because we watch all these live streams of bands doing live shows, and I always feel, it's basically a ceremony, a celebration of people coming together, singing, sweating, everything you can do right now. That's what we celebrate. And we cannot convey this in a live stream video.
Right. I hear you, man. I do. I hear you. It's not the same. However, Mike and I when we originally wanted to start this, we're like, this is a good opportunity to find out like what artists are doing. In our first interview is not the same type of music, but the girl like has her own show, and she like has her audience on there, and people log in and they have virtual conversations like this, kind of like a podcast.
Well,
yeah.
She plays songs, requests.
Instagram Live. She's called Hey Y'all every morning.
It's pretty cool. And the tip jar.
Bands,
the tip jar works. And then not only that, I know this is jumping off the genre deep end here, but Erykah Badu, she started in her house. She charged $1, and people want to be a part of that moment. It's not, anybody can watch a live stream anywhere, but because she's creating an actual experience, she is asking her audience to give a dollar. She made over $100,000 her first one, and then she went to the venue, then filmed it at the venue, charged $2, and then made like $300,000, and then now she's up to like $4 per stream. So it's a way. I'm just kind of putting that out there that's what we're seeing, right, Mike? In the I
mean, you look at the start of nugs.net. So like one of the last shows that got played before most shit got shut down because of the pandemic was the 311 shows at the Park Theater in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right.
And I watched all 3 shows on this company called nugs.net. And what they do,
like $20 or something, right?
it was cheap. It was pretty cheap. It was like all 3 days was like $90 or something like that. And you could rewatch it over and over again for months on end. But the shows were amazing, and you got to watch 3 hours of 311 for a fraction of the price of what it would be to be there. So, the thing is like literally that Friday, California went on homestay, and that was the last 311 shows. That 13th, I think it was.
Yeah, it was 311 that weekend. Right?
Yeah, it was Friday the 13th essentially.
Yeah.
And so, or that Saturday was the 13th, but on the Friday we shut down. So they had one more show in Vegas. Vegas went the next day, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, it's like you have the avenues are there. And what I was speaking to one manager about Ben Weeks over at PGM yesterday was that Benji Madden and his company with his brother have pivoted their virtual VIP experiences, not virtual, in-person VIP experiences, the virtual stream experiences. And they supposedly are doing amazing.
Now,
so
it's more like this, and you just kind of have a hang.
I believe that's called Deep or something like that, his thing. But yeah, just amazing stuff.
It's a little like I've been trying to get my band to do this online stuff, man, during this whole thing, and it's been literally like pulling teeth. And I did it myself. I like set up my whole thing and wanted to get this going. I'm a drummer, so like it's really hard for me to do that. All they have to do is have their fucking their interface and plug right in and have their fucking, and that's it. But I have to fucking buy mics. I did all this shit. Nobody ever got it down. But we're gonna go in the studio and do it so we can do it there, which would be a lot easier. But the thing is, you got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit more because you're so used to playing live, and it's like that experience is not the same. But if you pivot a little bit and adjust, I think you'll find that there is a market for this, and you might actually reach more people.
Yeah, the possibility to reach more people is there because it's worldwide.
The overhead, no gas, right? No operational expenses.
You could basically do like one show every so often. You know what I mean? That would be the difference in order to keep it to be a special thing. Or if it is something like this fan thing, like where you have a show in the morning and you're just talking, or like
you go behind the scenes, watch me write this song. This is my idea. What do you guys think? Like kind of interact with the audience. I'm seeing that now. I'm not telling you and trying to step on your toes. It's kind of all new for all of us. So we're adjusting to it. I'd much rather play live any day of the week. And I don't care if it's the one person or, 3,000 people. I play with the same vigor every single time because I just obviously love doing it. and that's why I'm doing it. But you know, for our audience and everything, it's kind of one of those things like people like me want to know how people like yourself and bands that are awesome are actually doing this. And there's no getting around it. You have to grind it out. And again, that's freaking impressive. So you guys are going since 2009. It's 2020. And what are your, you know, kind of future plans from post this going on? Like what's in the future for you guys?
We actually are using this time, I think, pretty well. We're just writing, you know, so we're in a super creative mode right now. We do a lot of videos, as you can tell on our website and stuff. We do a lot of live videos from our rehearsal room or something like that. And like we'll write something, make a video, and put it out in a week. You know,
there you
so
go.
we're constantly doing stuff like this. You know,
I mean, something that's very important, I think, that some people overlook is there's not going to be live shows anytime soon. It seems numbers are rising, and so what you got to do, but everybody needs to do.
And by the way, to the numbers rising,
yeah.
If you really look at the data, we're still only in the first wave.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
In the States, especially.
If you do the math right now, but maybe like 5% got the virus so far. That means 95% are still able to get it. We're still in the beginning. But anyway, so if you look at this and think about it, what we need to do, everybody in the entertainment industry, is like cut your costs and try to stay underwater until you come up and breathe again. And this will be before next year. So right now, it's just staying open and feel like, oh, maybe it's going to be better next month. I think it's going to kill a lot of people and a lot of bands too. And so the first thing we did is like we gave up our rehearsal room. Like what do we don't need to pay? We don't need to pay rent for 2 vehicles. We don't need a rehearsal room. So we just built a rehearsal room in our garage. We spent a whole month, and you know what?
I didn't realize you guys had a separate rehearsal. I thought you guys
did
everything from the compound.
No.
Now.
We used to have a rehearsal room, and you know what? Honestly, like I went on Craigslist every day and got insulation, got plywood, I got all this stuff. So the security deposit from our old room paid for our new studio.
I love it. You subsidized. That's awesome, man.
So now we have a new rehearsal room that we finished a few days ago, and now
I can go play drums in my pajamas.
But during this time, we had a whole electronic drum kit in our living room. So we were jamming the whole time and writing, and people could still release more videos. If our fans know, we always release a lot of videos out of our rehearsal room. It looks almost like a live stream, but it's us just playing with a GoPro.
You're already doing it. Yeah. That's
we're
great.
doing it already.
And so we got a green screen that I ordered a few days ago. So we're gonna put out some crazier videos, I guess. And what I'm thinking is I'm producing all our music as well. So I want to go maybe a little more Beatles, maybe, you know, go a little crazier with production.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
What is kind of your guys' process in writing? Because I know from our conversations from time to time have been, you guys write every day almost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is that like? Because I almost can't write every day. It's an amazing talent if you can.
Well, I mean, a lot of times, like, we get a lot of ideas when we're on the road, you know, and you're sitting in the van for hours. So, like, when we came back from the road, we pulled out cell phones and we're like, oh, there's these 50 ideas that we have on here. So let's go through each one, see what, you know, if anything sparks us right now. What are we feeling right now? And what's inspiring to us at the moment? And we'll go through these kind of things. So we have, a lot of times we have a base to start. Gotcha. Or, you know, we wake up with an idea like, oh, we want to write a song about this right now, you know, that fits into this lyrical content or, you know, or riffs or whatever.
It usually starts with a riff or a vocal line connected to a chord progression. And that most of the time comes when I'm driving at night from one city to the next city. I'm on energy drinks, energy drinks, and at 2 a.m., you know, I'm going to be having my phone and singing songs into my cell phone.
Memo.
And 3 months later, I'm at home and I'm going through all these ideas. And once I listen to an idea, it just re-sparks that whole idea. And then I'm like, okay, what's the tempo? What's the riff? And then I start recording it. And then, like, what's the lyrics? And then, man, like writing a song every day. And we did this for a while, for the whole period of time while we were in quarantine. What are we writing about? What's the movie we watched yesterday? Yeah. What's the zombie movie? What's this? Okay, The Bride Must Die. Okay, I see that. This song is called The Bride Must Die. Because 1, 2, 3 or the day, Thursday won't cut it for long. So it's with all these ideas, and I always feel like I would love to just sit down and write a song, but I have so many ideas that I need to catch up with.
Mm-hmm. So, that's awesome. Yeah, I find that, you know, I'm not on tour like you guys, but I find myself literally writing almost every day. And the more you do that, the more things kind of just come to you. I like to say you tap into the innate, you know, the super consciousness. And, you know, I hum a melody in my head and I'm like, I hear that. I got to fucking lay that down, or I'm going to, you know, I just need to do that. And if I just keep doing that and acting on my, instead of just, because your mind is not going to let you do something that's going to be good for your benefit. It's going to make you do the thing that is going to be the laziest way out to not have an excuse to do it. So taking those initiatives and by putting yourself in a situation like that, you're putting yourself in the best creative environment to be able to keep feeding the machine that is the songs that you guys are creating. And that's amazing.
Yeah. And I always think we write a lot, but then I always feel maybe we're tapping to 20% what I want to do. But then it's 24 hours a day. And what are you going to do, man? We got to build the studio. We need to get this. We
gotta eat.
Gotta eat. And then at the end, we want to rehearse the songs. And then I need more hours in the day. And then we also, one very important thing is we like to sleep.
Yes. Sleep is
so one thing is for us, there's no alarm clocks.
No time. Time doesn't even exist. It's a way humanity found a way to measure something immeasurable. And if you can make your own reality and not have to abide by time except for as a reference to where you need to be and be considerate of other people,
that's
the way to go.
And our life was always like this. And since the virus started, everybody's like this. So I feel like
they just jumped onto our time.
There's no obligations anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, I found with me personally during this time, it's like you're sitting in my studio at the moment.
Yeah.
This used to be my dining room.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like forever, I was like, I'm gonna go write a record, and I wrote a record. You know, it's like you kind of, you know, I think people make the excuse, like Greg said, that's cute. That's nice drums, buddy. Nice drums. Nice drums, pal. What do you want, a stick? You're the laptop. But I mean, the thing is like I always said, you know, I gotta go to this for work. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I'm trying to build this for business. All this stuff. It's like if you're at home and you have nowhere to go, you're gonna find time because the stuff that you took 2 hours to do, you can do in a much more compressed time frame.
Yeah.
It's the way
I kind of love it. Like quarantine is kind of amazing. You don't have to go anywhere. I mean, besides for the show aspect, you know, like this is one thing. We would already be on tour right now. And we're home.
And just to tell you the severity of the situation right now. A tour is supposed to start like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And we had the whole summer planned, a whole tour in Europe for fall. Then rehearsals with my other band and a tour over there with my other band in January, February, March. Then another Krash Karma tour through Europe. Then festivals in the States and Europe. We already had festivals booked for Europe.
For 2021?
Yes. That's what we're booking right now. So everything went down the drain.
Oh man, you guys are handling it so well too, because I mean, I booked out probably 6 months from January for myself, and that's rare. And we were pumped about the shows we booked ourselves, and it all went away. And my band I've never seen people so depressed before, but I mean, I've been keeping busy myself because that's just the way I am. It's all how you see it, right? And how you make the best of an opportunity.
Exactly. I mean, we're supposed to release an album in the fall, and we have like 40 songs written. But now we feel, you know what? We are independent. We need an album to be on the road and to sell it and put a signature down. Now we're not selling any albums, so there's no reason for us to really record an album right now. But
let's tap into that for a second, because the way the music industry is now, you know, being independent is obviously the way to go if you know what you're doing and you're taking initiative and all that. What I've been studying and applying in convincing my band of this as well is people don't consume music the way they used to, obviously, because they have it it's saturated. However, if you put it out there and you have a single, you have 40 fucking songs, you have a shit ton of material to do, you have a shit ton of content, you guys are putting out videos. If you guys put a video out and the documenting of the song, the writing process, and all the content around that song, and then you build that up with trailers, and then the week that you actually release that song, there's artwork around it, there's all the branding, that song is going to resonate much better and for a much longer period of time than just releasing a bunch of songs at one time And that's the way, and there's art, there's a conceptual aspect behind it. And that's going to be able to make that, you're going to be able to milk the cow a little bit, and you're going to be able to resonate with people. Are going to go, oh, I really like that song. And instead of going, hey man, that album was awesome, I can't wait till the next one. And I hear that, it's like, bro, sit on that for a fucking year or two, because you're dead. And
yeah, but you know what, the way you describe it always, like, let's make a plan, we have a date and we pump it up. There's always this versus let's just put it out, where people are done equally successful. With both. With both. When I was like, do we really need this whole ramp up? And at the end, I came to the conclusion is, if the music is undeniably good, you put it out there.
Yeah.
Spend maybe more time on writing a badass song and put it out there, instead of writing that song and then maybe try to market the hell out of it, which is also good, but in our experience.
But we kind of do a little bit of both.
The most success we had with songs, like where we had like 1 million hits on songs or 500,000 hits. This is all stuff where we just recorded a little video in the rehearsal room and put it out, and it because people liked it and people shared it. And this is the threshold. Of course, like to get to 30,000 hits, you can promote the hell out of it and then you get there. But if something needs millions of hits, and that's what we basically need, we want millions of hits. This would be way better than anything else.
Yeah, I guess there's like a hybrid of that, right? So it's like, if you're more established versus somebody that's not as established, if you have a better organic reach right off the bat, you're obviously going to have more momentum just releasing stuff like that. The strategy that I'm talking about could be a little loose-ended when it comes to just documenting what you're doing and throwing it out there on a kind of a schedule, like a content schedule every day. And then, people are like, oh, I can't wait till I hear the recording or see the video. And then they see the video, and then it all just falls into
process. And it's kind of, they're more invested in it because they see it process. I get
that part of that pathway to that end goal, which is encapsulating everything you're saying. Just a question as a drummer. Are you endorsed by D-Drum? Because that's an awesome set.
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
That's
we interviewed P. King yesterday.
Okay.
Who was Vinnie Pohl's drum tech.
Nice. Yes.
And during Hell Yeah years, and as you all know, Vinnie played D-Drum.
Oh yeah, I know.
I love your setup. You got
dude. Funny, we both love Chad Sexton. You took lessons from Chad.
I did.
What?
Yeah, well, their studio's like right here. Dude.
I mean, this was before I knew that their studio was right here, but 311 is a huge influence in my life as well. So we all have that connection.
That's incredible. Oh my god!
I
took a lesson from a guy named Kenny Schalk from Candiria. He one of my favorite drummers growing up, a really good hardcore band from Brooklyn. And a 3-hour clinic with him at my studio. You know what the actual lesson was? It was on ergonomics of the where your hands land versus like setting up like cymbals, like 80s drummers where they all the way up here. It's where you're and literally he went through. He's like, sit here. He said it like this.
Lost from Slaughter.
Yeah, right. Like
Space for Rent.
It looked cool.
It hurts after a while. You cannot be sustainable on that.
I love your setup. I love you. I love their whole branding here. It's really fucking awesome, dude.
Thank you very much.
Really awesome. Good for you guys. It's exciting to talk to a band.
The coolest thing about a drum kit, I think, is this little aluminum table that goes over the kick drum.
Do you see that?
That's an additional stage where Nikki goes on top of the drum kit and sings the whole song.
Yeah.
So
that's so cool. It's like a fucking erector set. That's a great idea, by the way.
Like Table Point version 5.0 or something. It started off as like a little piece of wood that we all almost died on several times.
And of course, Ralph, the ultimate bomb maker, turns it into something else.
Yeah. Well, finally, now we have aluminum, and it's badass. Like, this is from Germany, German crafted. Brought it back to the States.
Efficient, durable.
Yes.
Hey, hold on. Speaking of, you got to do the piano tuner imitation.
Oh my god, I think he's Russian, but I keep doing it like a German. He's like, your piano is absolutely fantastic. I got to tell you right now, let me do the restoration. You will never find another piano like this. I can't believe I'm here right now, witnessing this right now. Oh my god. Greg, you have to let me come back here and just do this incrementally, right? I'm going to charge you for the tuning. Just let me play on it for a while. I just want to play it. If I never get a chance to play this, yeah, very, very rare piano piece. I can't believe you have it now. I'm like, yeah, man, it's fucking
Not a
go nuts.
Maybe
Not a
we have a piano that needs some tuning.
It's not a tuba. Get to the chopper.
No. Yeah, but that's always a fun one. The German piano guy.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love the German accent. It's
Did you have a tour in Germany?
What's that? Have you ever been?
In Germany, you need a tour in Germany.
It's awesome.
I haven't, but I would love to go.
Let me tell you, the first thing is you do this tour in Germany or through Europe, then you get to Germany. You know you're in Germany because you go to your green room, and there's like, it seems like the club owner stores all his beer in your green room. And then he looks at you and says, and this is your beer for the night. And then I look at Nikki, it's Nikki and I, with like maybe 15 cases of beer. It's like 300 beers. And I'm like, how would we possibly drink 300 beers between her and I?
Yeah, so we just take the whole thing out and just start passing it out to our friends and fans, you know.
Well, do you find that in Europe you guys get treated better when it comes to the show aspect?
It depends.
That's good in bad places everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that country is better than this country.
But I love touring in Germany. Personally, I think it's way cooler. I mean, I don't know if it's just because I'm from here and going over there, it's just something different. But it just seems to me like, you know, they always take care of you. They always give you 7 cases of beer. They feed you. They give you hotels. You know, it's always just like a really warm and welcoming feeling.
Should do it.
Yeah,
I feel like music, especially harder music, is much more appreciated in Europe as opposed to the U.S. I mean, it's like you guys played in Jersey and New York. I mean, everybody's out for themselves. There's no like, you know, back we were talking about Metallica before. I mean, Murder in the Front Row is a documentary I always bring up again because there was such a camaraderie.
Yeah, we just watched it. Yeah.
But like there's a scene, there's a brotherhood, and that's fucking missing. Everybody's out for themselves, and I'm all about cross promoting bands that I fucking love. And like I share their shit and like they don't share mine, and I'm not expecting them to, but it's like, okay, guys, like you want people to check your band out, like you should be cross promoting the other bands that you like and not be in competition and not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to like your shit because I'm in.
We're all about a team. You know, it's like it's the most important thing.
The one thing I really liked about you guys when I met you at Viper was like you were still doing it the old school way.
Mm-hmm. Flyers,
you know, talking to people, like this is our show. You talk about interests other than music, which is how we kind of connected. Actually, was our love for surfing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice surf.
Yeah. Not in a minute. We got to get out there.
We got to get out there.
Yeah. It's going to be a few sessions of
dying.
Fucking dying. Being in shape and being in surfing shape's two different things.
Totally.
It's amazing surfing.
Yeah. But the thing is that the way you guys kind of handle yourselves, you know, one as a band, two as, you know, cat's out of the bag, you guys are both married. Mm-hmm. How does that work? Because the thing is like you guys spend so much time together. Obviously, you love each other enough, but like, but the thing is like, what's that balance that kind of
That's a fucking great question.
Makes your guys' relationship work? Because the thing is that most of the time, I can't stand being in a fucking tour bus with people for more than 5 minutes, and you guys are married and do it together and write together, and you sure spend a lot of time together, so you must like each other a lot.
We got really lucky. Yeah, I think we got really lucky because when we tour with other people, you know, when we had 3 other guys in the band, like for me, it was, you know, or 2, excuse me, but me with 3 dudes, typically, it was always the way it was. You know?
It is.
Yeah. And, you know, being on the road with him, it's awesome. You know, it's like we have a great time. We always make a balance of, okay, so now we play our rock shows 4 nights a week, then we have 2 nights, so we go get a pimp-ass hotel somewhere, you know, and just have like a little break, a downtime, a little vacation for just the 2 of us, and we try to balance.
On a honeymoon.
Yeah, you know, it's like we do our work, and then we, you know, then we have our time, and we have the same goals. So
but
I think that's what
it seems like when we do music, we're not a couple.
No,
we're partners in a band, and we try to
separate it.
We create together.
Yeah.
So there's like here's our relationship and here's our band life. And our
And
band life,
one doesn't get offended by the other. Like if you say like during a writing process and then it carries over into you know your R&B. Like you,
I mean, there's always, of course, if you're creative, there's always kind of like a struggle and a fight maybe. That's stuff that still happens, but that's outside of the relationship. And you know what? Being in a band takes up so much room in your life. Like all my relationships basically failed because I was in a band and I could never spend enough time with my partner, so that always suffered. So now I'm in a band with my wife.
I love that.
Still, the music is a huge part of our lives. That means that private piece that we have is definitely always be like in the minority. And every time when we have this private moment, we treasure it and we always look forward to spending this time. But most of the time, we are fighting this big mountain of an enemy, which is called the music business. And it's us against that enemy, and we are fighting every day. And that probably keeps us together as well.
Yeah. We have a common goal, basically, and that definitely keeps it together. And we still enjoy that time, that little sliver of pie that we get every now and again. It seems special because, like you said, we do kind of separate that, it's like that's
compartmentalize it, right? Yeah, because I always just thought like I can never be in a band with my girlfriend. I don't know how the fuck that would work. And then it's just a matter of having the right person in the band with you that could be your girlfriend. That was possible.
I was the same opinion.
Fence too. We were like, should we do this? Like, I don't know. When we first started, we didn't know it was going to work.
I thought so too. And then I looked back on my history and I looked and realized the average time a drummer spends with me is 6 months. And then I thought, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Or something gets in the way.
Well, thanks for coming, guys. I have to go.
No, I played with great people, but there was just a reality. People have different plans and just things come and they go. And I felt, if Nikki can stay with me for longer than 6 months, then it's already good.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll take it later.
Yeah.
Do you play any other instruments too, or do you just play drums?
I drums and sing, so that's my main thing. I play bass, but I wouldn't call myself a bass player. And I'm getting a ukulele tomorrow.
Nice. Do you guys have the bass playing in the background? Do you guys have the bass in the background when you're playing live? Is it are you playing to a metronome?
So you got so I've seen the Wizardly World of Ralph, and it is something straight out of a terrorist bomb. I mean, so you got to explain how you actually do it, man.
Yeah,
how I do
Frankenstein.
What?
What are we talking about again?
Nice. That's great. Yeah, how do you set up live and like if you have the bass playing in the background, do you pre-record?
He relearned how to play his instrument as a bass and a guitar, basically.
I'm a bass player as well. In that band I play in Germany, I play bass, and I played bass for a long time. But first of all, I'm a guitar player, but I also play bass, and I play drums, and I play all kinds of stuff. But we were always a 4-piece. And then we traveled so much between Europe and the United States that it was hard to keep the same players. And we switched out 10 different lineups for Europe, took Europeans to the States, Americans to Europe. And at one point we shrank and made it a 3-piece. Then I played all the leads and it was okay. And then the first time we invested in a radio promoter, 2015. And we had a single on the radio, we got invited to play bigger festivals. And well, the bass player at the time had a spine injury and he couldn't play the tour. And that happened on the first day of the tour.
On the way to our first show.
So I need to figure out really quick how I do it. So the first tour we played as a 2-piece, it was obvious that we said, okay, here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna set up Nikki's drums in the front and half the songs Nikki gonna sing. And that was 2015. And that's how we did it.
That's when I became a singing drummer.
And
on stage.
On
stage.
But at this point, we didn't plan for it. It happened while we were on the road. Yeah. So I had a bass track, luckily, that I could feed the front of house guy and had the bass come from the track. And for all the bass breakdowns, I basically muted the track and had like an octave down pedal, and I played the bass parts on the guitar, so it didn't look like
Royal Blood does.
Where's the bass coming from? Yes.
Yeah.
So, but every day when I was on stage and I played those songs, and I also play bass on all our recordings, I always realized, wait a second, 90% of what I'm playing is basically just doubling up what the E string is doing in octave lower. So if I could build a one-string pickup that has its own designated output that picks up only the E string, I can play all kinds of chords, but only the E string gets picked up. So I have a clean root node that goes to an octave down pedal, through an EQ pedal, an active DI pedal. So I think that can make it sound like a bass. So after this tour, we came home and I was sawing pickups in half, soldering, and then I went to the NAMM show, talked to different people, and I picked different gear parts and put them together. And at the end, I just built this crazy Frankenstein guitar that has 2 9-volt batteries in it and has a designated output only for the E string that goes to some pedals, and it sounds better than a bass that I usually play.
That's fucking awesome. Do you have a cab, like a bass cab and a guitar cab?
Yeah. So my friend of house guy, he gets, I'm playing also like a pseudo stereo signal. You know, he gets like a stereo guitar left and right, which is basically the original signal and a little detune with a delay on the right side. So he gets guitar left and right and a bass signal. And then on stage, I used to have 3 cabs, but these days it doesn't really matter. It just needs something to come off stage. I have 1 cab that gets both the guitar and the bass signal.
That's so cool.
But my front of house guy, he has guitar left, guitar right, and bass. And the way I can change my channels too is like I have guitar in the middle, I have guitar left and right, I have right guitar, left guitar, and middle.
Bass.
So I have different dynamic stages where I can build up the songs the way I would do it as a 4-piece.
So you also, I mean, I've seen the show. You were explaining to me with the lights and stuff too. You change your stuff straight off your Kemper.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. And this now you get the theory behind this. Now the next thing is let me write a song. You know, sometimes it sounds like 2 people, and I always love if I write a riff and it sounds like 2 people because now it's all in my right hand. You know, I play the E string, I have the bass. I don't play the E string, I don't have bass. So I write the riff with the E string incorporated, so to accomplish whatever the kick drum is doing as well. And I can also turn the bass on and off and the guitar on and off. Or, for example, I'm using a pitch effect, like a whammy, 2 octaves up. The bass always stays on the same root note, but the guitar goes up. Now you have the illusion there's 2 people playing because I play crazy stuff. The bass comes in and out because I play the E string all the time and have octave stuff going down. Right. So that means there's a lot of tap dancing in the rehearsal room. On stage, I don't want to do any of this tap dancing. So everything what I'm doing on the pedal board in the rehearsal room is being automated and controlled by a computer that controls all the on and off switches and the pedal and the automation. So
you're using Kemper when live for
yes,
that.
I'm using a Kemper for this, yes.
That is fucking so cool, dude. That has to be a hell of a
something to it as well. Right?
And then of course, and then it goes further. The computer also controls a whole light show that's set up. So Nikki has a light, we have a blinder, and then if I sing, I light up. If Nikki sings, she lights up. So it's a whole show that's happening. And also,
is that expensive to do? Is that really expensive to do set up? Like
no. There's this box from Entech. It's I think like $250, and that's it. It's with the Entech. Yeah, I can show you the link later. It's $250, and then you get a whole software with it, and then you just automate it like you automate a MIDI trip in your software.
Perfect, because we wanted to do the same thing, and I'm like, I don't. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to be so much money. I'm like, I don't know, man.
You got to invest in the lights, you know. Yes. You have to choose which kind of lighting you want.
Exactly.
You know?
You might put down like $500 or $1,000, and then you have a decent light show with you.
Yeah, ours is $1,000, right?
Yeah, that's super innovative.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it makes a huge difference. You go to a club and the light guy can be snoozing and we're still gonna look good.
Yeah.
And with me being a singing drummer, it was always like I'm just lost in space. I'm like, where's this female voice coming from suddenly? And I'm just like in the dark in the back, you know. So
right.
So that was kind of how we evolved into doing this, you know. And
yes, I mean the way we do it also, like we still need house lights. You know, we don't bring our own show. I always tell the guy, still do your light show, but I always know, here comes the double bass part. We have some strokes. Here comes my part where I sing. I know there's a light on me. And then most important, Nikki sings. And then where's that drummer in the dark corner? Oh yeah, there she is. And she's lit up.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's intense. I mean, the learning curve on that must have been something else for you guys to be able to adjust to that. And then
we toured with this band Avatar from Sweden, Germany, and
my girlfriend loves them.
Really?
Yeah.
So we learned from those guys. And I was in contact with John, the drummer, and he told me how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. Wow. I mean, just 2 people, right? And then I'm with 4 people, 5 people, and like, it's like, get it together, bro. Holy shit. You fucking do
But
it.
I think having 2 is also, the only time it's more work is in the driving and setting up and tearing down.
I suck at driving. Like, I can only drive
amazing.
4 hours at a time. I'm like this, like, no matter what. No matter how much.
We're really good drivers. We can both drive for hours and hours. And I love driving.
That's when we write most the songs, so that most song ideas come from driving somehow. You know what? I thought when we came home from my last tour, maybe I should get a driving game, a really boring driving game. Then I sit home for 4 hours with energy drinks and play this driving game, and then if I have an idea, I can just go and record it straight up. I don't need a cell phone. I really thought about this, and I might still do this.
Because when you're driving, you're letting your subconscious, you're not thinking about, like, you're just on autopilot. So you're allowing your subconscious to just be open to any creative things coming to you. And in fact, doing that, it's like building a muscle. You're gonna
exactly.
Really
and what do you do when you drive? You listen to a podcast or you listen to music. And I just listen to music and I feel like, oh, this song is awesome. I hope they're gonna go on the F-sharp chord now, and then they don't. It's like, dude, if they would land and this chord progression F sharp, the vocals could go, and then it's like, oh man, I need to record this. And then I pause and like, this should go like this. So then sometimes it's just a riff, my interpretation of a song that I like, or something that sparks something.
There's all type. For me, I don't really listen to music at all. Generally, whatever my friends tell me, and like, if I like Mike's like, yo, check out this band, I'm gonna check them out, and I'm like, I need to get out of the 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade mindset and like start discovering other music. But I find that I get more originality by not listening to anything, and I'm able to just like come up with beats and like go to my band and be like, yo, do this. And with the way I create, I'm in 2 bands. The one I create is literally on the spot. So my guitar player will just start playing, and when he's just noodling around, that's when I tell him to stop and just to play that thing that you just noodled around. So if he plays an arpeggiatic, like, there within that arpeggio there's like a rhythm. There's like, you know what I mean? So it's like and then we just create a whole fucking song out of that. And I'm like, no, play this, and I'm dictating to them everything. Then my other band, the kid comes in and he has mostly everything panned out, and then I just kind of bug him, and he's like, and I'm like, here, try this. But like, I'm like, if I didn't have my other band, I wouldn't even be able to be in this band, because it allows me to be creative in a way where I can get shit done. And you give me 1 fucking hour with somebody, I'll be able to write a fucking song with them, and they won't even realize it. They'll be like, holy shit, I just wrote a whole fucking song out of it. And that's what's so awesome about being creative. It's like, it could come from your driving, and as long as you tap into that and you just keep doing that over and over again. And I find it especially cool when you have one other person and not a bunch of other people, because it's less egos in the room and people getting butt hurt that they're not being involved. And it's like, well, take the initiative. If you have an idea, bring it to the table and I'll listen. But don't waste my fucking time if you say, I don't like your idea, and not have an idea to subsidize that idea that you don't like. Don't just say that you don't like the idea because you don't like it. Have an idea and then be like, I'm not feeling this part. Think of something and then bring it up. Don't fucking not say anything and be, resentful later. Oh, we recorded this. I don't really like this part. Dude. Don't even.
You had a chance.
Yeah, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Totally.
Yeah, speak now or forever hold your peace. Exactly. So, Mike, do you have any other things on the board there that you wanted to bring up?
What do you guys want to promote? Like, what's the next?
Yeah, plug yourself.
It's your turn now. We're done asking questions.
We just released this awesome video for our last single from our album, Morph. It's called Way In, Way Out. And it's this acoustic song. It's like our more.
If you're looking it up right now, you won't find it, because we're going with it. This is going to be released in July.
This is in July.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So we just released it in the future, but
wink,
it's
wink.
But
wink.
It's a really awesome song. But funny story behind it is we shot the whole video before the virus outbreak. We thought it's a great idea because people just know us from destroying the stage and being high energy, and now we're going to be with acoustic guitar. And it's a very thoughtful song about the circle of life and death. And as I'm editing the video, everybody and their mother is now online playing the acoustic guitar on a live stream. So we know like, this is the wrong song.
Because I can't get boys and girls.
It's the wrong song.
Okay.
So we waited and we felt that now is the right time to release it.
Okay. And when it comes to your videos, how do you guys do the videos? You're obviously directing it and
very interesting.
GoPro.
So I'm also doing all the production, and I'm endorsed by PreSonus.
Oh, nice.
PreSonus once had a joint product with Sony, and they had they gave me the Sony software, Vegas. So I started learning Vegas, and I got quite good at it. And ever since, we always work with people, but you know what? Videos is always very cringe-worthy, I would say. You know, it's like sometimes the guy says, yeah, you just do this, and you feel like, I'm not an actor, I'm a musician. You know, it's going to look really bad if I'm starting acting now. And so we started to do most our stuff ourselves. And so these days, we go on Craigslist and say, hey, we need somebody with a good camera to shoot a video for 3 hours. Here's $100. And that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we basically call them, talk to them beforehand, kind of go through what we want to do, pick them up or meet at their location. And, you know, we do all the scouting out, and he does all the editing and stuff for it. So,
and then while you're doing it, you're directing him on the shots that you want. And
I mean, it's a music video. You need if you have 2 close-ups of each person, one medium distance and then one from far away, and 2 takes of each, and that's it. And
I love it.
And those are the videos, and then we also do, you know, our most famous videos is basically just a GoPro in our room. Just play through the song, and that's
Girl with the Hammer.
Yes, Girl with the Hammer.
Different angles, 2 shots.
Not sometimes.
No, one angle.
Okay, goes.
One angle.
Bird's eye. I gotta check.
Yes, just right there. You know
we
what?
did some zooms and stuff.
We start doing edits too, but here's the one thing. I think it's a good thing we live in this age now where people are used to really shitty cell phone videos. So you really get away, if it's a good song, I think you get away with just putting a camera up and just playing that song. And if the song is good, it will stand on its own. But as soon as you put one edit in it, then you feel like, oh, it's slow. I need to put another edit in, and another edit. And then it becomes a music video. And all of a sudden, your one angle that's legit, because we're living in a cell phone age, video becomes a shitty music video. So you got to make the call. Is it going to be a GoPro video that's just there showing you how you film? Or is it going to be a shitty music video? So you have to away from the shitty music videos. But if you look up our videos, we definitely have some videos where we started editing a little bit with the GoPro, and it's always a slippery slope because we don't want to be in music video land because that's high production, that's good lighting, makeup, and everything. Or
you want to capture the rawness in the music will speak for itself with the visual of how fucking high energy and the attitude you're.
So we did this one video and the Beatles cover, Eleanor Rigby, that we released 2 months ago. And this we did we kind of took this GoPro idea and we turned it into a video. And it was basically just this one bird's eye angle. And then I did Nikki's close-ups and she did my close-ups. And I edited it together and now it looks like a music video more or less. And we just used some footage from Banksy.
Yeah. So basically, you know, with that said, you guys truly, I mean, DIY, all right, I feel that's always been a blown over
do it yourself
idea or whatever. But the thing is that you guys truly are. I mean, and you make it look classy and good. So, I mean, to our viewers, that's important. That's the value we're trying to give. So, man, super appreciate you guys being on the show today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is, I think, how we also move forward, you know, to put out videos and our fans know it's going to be Nikki and I playing in the room and they enjoy it. So instead of doing live shows, I feel like we're going to do, it's almost live. It's us playing that song in the room and we're going to make a few edits so it looks a little more interesting, but we just ordered a green screen. So
you're ready to go, man.
I'm going to go super B-movie on our green screen. It's going to be, I don't know what, but
you're ready to go.
Start getting the filters and stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be really bad.
But so besides for that, we have this video coming out, or that we just released for Way In Way Out, and that's basically the last single on our last album, Morph. And now we're going.
We might have to plug this again because my dogs are going fucking insane right now.
Hold on.
Yeah, just hold on 1 sec here. I got a used 20-inch AAX Explosion Sabian for fucking $120.
Nice. I just ordered cymbals yesterday.
I
I have Pisces, yeah.
You get them endorsed by Pisces?
Uh-huh.
Holy shit, balls! It's the
I still
coolest
have to pay, so 70%
Yeah.
off, but
Andrew we'll have on the show at some point.
yes.
What used to be the artist rep for her. Now he's at Gretsch Drums.
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay. Wow, you're really fucking tied in, Mike. Jesus. Like
The high school with the guy. With the high school with
He's
the
a
guy.
jazzy boy.
I find yo, by the way, here's some really good sticks I'm gonna recommend. Scorpion Percussion, the best hickory, the best drumstick. Listen, I break drumsticks immediately, and I'm sure you do too. A lot, but
Breaking drumsticks? It's like breaking nails.
these drumsticks, 5Bs, wood tip, lasted me over a month.
Wow.
Never in my life has
Okay.
that happened. So just letting you know.
That Pro Mark.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Pro Mark, they're gonna give you sticks. That's fine, but I gotta tell you, man,
That's
Scorpion.
why I use them, as I get them for.
Yeah, exactly, right. I would use any.
Mark.
But that's not what I always play.
Oh, okay.
Try the Shishirmi oak, Japanese oak ones, Pro Mark.
No, I haven't tried them.
They
Check it out.
last.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But yeah, guys, I really, really appreciate you guys being on, and you guys can just do that plug one more time.
Yeah, sure.
The dogs were barking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Well, we just released our last single of our last album. It's called "Way In, Way Out" on the album Morph, and now we're currently about to release a new single that will be out. We're going to be doing a new EP. I think we've decided we're going to do like 4-song EPs for the upcoming future, and so we can also just do it's kind of a conceptual thing, like we were talking about earlier. Have a whole art concept behind everything, and.
When we talk about
Yeah.
an EP, it's going to be an EP at the end, but it's still going to be here's
A
the first
single,
song,
a single.
here's the
yeah.
next song, and now that's the EP.
Exactly what I just said before. And,
Yeah.
I know apparently you throw things out there and you just let it be, but I mean you're doing that anyway, so it's like good for you.
So, yeah,
Seriously.
the single will be called "Gone," and that will be coming out probably today or tomorrow.
As in, bye.
As in, go get it.
Go get it.
Spotify, yo.
And Mike will ask you for the tracks if it's okay. We could feature whatever ones you guys want to put on the show here. And we're not, monetize. We're looking for viewership, not monetization of this at the moment. Because when you put on your songs, and basically if you're BMI, ASCAP, or whatever, YouTube will not let you. They'll be like it's copyright infringement or whatever. So we make sure that
they've been doing it for so many years illegally. Who cares?
Yeah.
So there actually is one more question, and I'm going to start asking this of all the artists because I want to get the overall opinion. This new Live Nation deal.
Oh, oh man.
The new Live Nation deal. What's your guys' opinion on it?
Eat a dick.
Okay, don't be a dick, Live Nation.
DUI never.
DUI. I don't want a DUI. I want a DIY.
DIY never sounded better. Is what I think you're trying to
I
do.
didn't get a DUI before I went DUI. That's really bad.
Really?
I don't know. It feels like as a musician, artists get screwed so bad the last 20 years, and it just never stops. I feel okay. Now the only thing left is live shows, and
now they're taking that. They're owning most of the venues and making it really hard for.
No artist agrees with this, by the way.
No smart person would agree with this. I mean,
you
actually,
guys are right. So anyway, because the best way to do that is be independent, do it yourself, and actually start putting out some ads before the show comes out, and sell the tickets yourself, and just really take full control and bypass the Live Nation kind of companies.
This would be the way, and just that it's really going to be something to see as this all clears up, because I think a lot of places are going under. Those medium-sized venues are going to be.
And that's my theory is like if Live Nation is running a lot of these smaller places now, and those venues are closing up, that's a huge stream of income. The other thing too is fact. Live Nation's lost it's probably even more by now, but in those first 2 to 3 months of this pandemic, they've lost $9 billion with a B dollars or $11 billion in revenue. So imagine what's going to happen next if they come back to half the income stream.
Yeah.
I
know this is not looking so good because you look at all the venues, like how are they able to survive?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of venues gonna fall off.
we were saying
that I got a bad feeling about this.
Yes.
some of the bands,
It's a trap.
these bands are going to have bigger bands are going to probably step up, bigger companies, management companies, to be able to run a sector in their company and their model to be able to produce shows and just phase out Live Nation. I mean, they're kind of putting their what do they say? They're biting off their nose to spite their face.
Cutting off their nose to spite their face, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're going to see people starting innovative strategies to it's going to be, it is an exciting time.
Yeah, I hope that's the case, that we come out of this in a new way, you know, and artists have more control over their own, you know, destiny. It would be great.
But what I'm hearing so far is people who negotiate and move their dates now, who already had dates split up, they don't get the same deals anymore for next year.
Yeah.
They're getting paid less, so it's very interesting what's going to happen.
But my thing was always like when I used to tour manage, you know, and you didn't sell out, it was always awesome when Live Nation the day before called you to renegotiate your fucking guarantee.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's a common practice.
Yeah.
And if you're weak-willed as a tour manager or as a band, you go, okay, we want to really play. Fuck that.
Yeah.
They need to take it up the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I wish I was there hanging out with you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
You need to move to California. Get out of Mawa.
So where are you right now exactly?
I'm in Mahwah, New Jersey, right on the Ramapo.
Right, literally the Ramapo Mountains are his backyard.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you stay safe out there because here it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Everywhere, my friend, and you guys rock. I can't wait. When shows do start getting picked up again, and you come to New Jersey, want to do a one-offer, I'd be happy to put it together.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah, I look forward to your new tunes, and it literally was an honor having you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys.